Welcome back to Algebra 1. Today we're going to be going over two of the lessons within the Algebra 1 textbook. We're doing 13.6 and 13.5. So first one up is 13.6, reducing a radical having a fractional radicand to a radical having an integral radicand. So this kind of built upon what we did yesterday, only throwing in a lot more fractions than what we had yesterday. So looking at our first one here, we have the square root of 3/4. So since the square root of 4 is 2, the radical sign of the denominator can be eliminated. So we can basically go, well, this is the square root of 3 over the square root of 4, which can then be reduced down to 3 over 2. And then what we can do is we can go, okay, well, this, if we extract it, then we're going to have 1/2 times the square root of 3. Alright? And then if we had just the square root of 1/2, to eliminate the radical sign of the denominator, we must make the denominator a perfect square by multiplying both terms by the square root of 2. So for this, we're going to take it and we're going to go, well, this could be the square root of 1/2 times 2 over 2, because we want to make both of them a perfect square. So that would change it to being 2 over 4 that we're square rooting, or square root of 2 over square root of 4, and as in the previous one, 4 can be just reduced down to 2. And again, it would be 1/2 square root of 2. Okay? But what if we had a cubed root? So if we had the cubed root of 3 over 4, well, again, we want to make sure that one of them can be cubed. So if we multiply the whole thing by 2 over 2, well, that would give us the cubed root of 6 over 8. And 8 can be cubed. So therefore, if we have the cubed root of 6 over the cubed root of 8, it would turn into the cubed root of 6 over 2, or again, 1/2 times the cubed root of 6. And then the final example they give us is the cubed root of a squared over 2y cubed. Now again, we want to make this so that it's something that we can reduce, so we're going to multiply the whole thing by 2y over 2y, as that would give us a squared over 4y to the power of 4 times 2y, which then when we reduce this is just a over 2y squared times 2y. Alright? And 13.7 is quite easy, so we'll go over that real quick as well. 13.7 is making the index of the root as small as possible. So this very much builds on what we were doing, so that's why it makes it easy to just roll into. So if we have the 6th square root of 25, sorry, I wrote the wrong number. We want to make that as small as possible, so we can go, well, that's 25 to the power of 1/6. And 25 is just 5 squared to the power of 1/6. So then, when we multiply these together like we know to do, we end up with 5 to the power of 2 over 6. Well, 2 over 6 we can reduce down to 1/3. And so now that gives us the cubed root of 5. And if you were to plug that into your calculator, you'd find that it's the same answer as the 6th root of 25. Alright, so let's go over 2 problems, one from each section. So from 13.6, we're going to go over question 5. And question 5 is 5 over 12, which since how we're trying to make it so that one of these can be squared, the easiest thing to do is take 5 over 12 and times it by 3 over 3, which then gets us 15 over 36, which we then can just say, well, that's the square root of 15 over the square root of 36. And 36 is already a prime, so it's just 15 over 36. Okay? From 13.7, we're going to go over question 4, which is the 6th root of 27a to the power of 3, which, as we did previously, we know that 27 is 3 cubed, and then a cubed, and 1 over 6. And then when we multiply these numbers together, or add them together, we end up with 3 to the power of 3 over 6, and a to the power of 3 over 6, which can be reduced down to 3 to the power of 1/2, and a to the power of 1/2. So when we write that out back in its radicand form, it's the square root of 3a. Alright? So that's basically all you're doing for your classwork. Like I said, it's not that difficult, quite easy to do. So for 13.6, you have 2 through 12 for classwork and 1 through 11 for homework. For 13.7, you have 1 through 29 for classwork and 2 through 30 for homework. Alright, don't forget to like and subscribe for more math-related content and other lessons of this sort. And again, I have my tutoring link, which will be in my profile. So, have a nice day.